What's good, Atlanta? Thank you for joining us for a very special episode of What's Good Atlanta, live from Dad's Garage. We know that we're your home for breaking news, but in this episode, we're going to be breaking down the stories that really matter. I'm Mark Kendall.
And I'm David Perdue. And as we all try to find a little something that's good in the world, today we have some very special guests who can hopefully lift all of our spirits when it comes to some very big topics. The Queen of Community Organizing, Ufot, and the Magnet Man, Alex Benigno.
Yes, we got some great guests.
Yeah.
But before we get into all that, David, what's a little something that's good with you this week?
Oh, I mean, this week, this hour ago, we just saw an amazing show.
Yeah.
What's good is Atlanta is full of talent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we full. People don't come. We're full of talent. Yeah. No, bring your talent. Everybody's amazing, but this warmed my heart. All this good talent here. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm gonna shout out Kamal Grant at Sublime Donuts, giving us donuts for the people. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's great. We got good things going on. So we have two very special guests joining us for this episode. But before that, let's get into a few headlines that touch on tonight's conversation. Here's what's good with the news this week.
The February premiere of Curb Your Enthusiasm showed Larry David getting arrested for handing out water at the polling place in Fulton County. The plot line has caught the attention of the Georgia Secretary of State's office, with Brad Raffensperger sending the show a letter defending Georgia's election law. But when you think about it, SB 202 really did curb a lot of that enthusiasm.
I, for one, like showing up to a polling place with the chance of, getting like a slice of pizza, a donut from Sublime, you know what I mean? A goodie bag, you know what I'm saying? A pair of new shoes, or even hearing a DJ play, the Cupid Shuffle, something like that,
This week also, it's the biggest event maybe of my lifetime, and everybody participated in it. Mm-hmm. We're talking about, everybody. There was not a single person who did not participate in the viewing of the eclipse.
Yeah.
Mark, how did you view the eclipse?
I missed it.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay.
I'm going to catch it on streaming, though.
If I'm being honest, I didn't see it directly because you're not supposed to. Right. But what I did, because I'm smart, is I just held my phone up and recorded it. And it looks great on my phone.
I missed the eclipse. It was a big thing. I'm curious, David, what's a big thing that you've missed in life?
Oh, I'll tell you right now. The biggest thing I missed in life was in 5th grade. My teacher, Miss Godwin, all year talked about bringing her monkey to school. And the one day I missed school, she brought the monkey, and all my friends were like, she brought the monkey today. And I wasn't even that sick. I was so mad at myself. I'll never forget that as long as I live.
Oh, you know what? Actually, so you mentioned a monkey.
Yeah.
All right. So before the Punchline was the Punchline, it was a different comedy club.
It was.
And so I would do comedy shows there one time. I don't even remember. Do you remember the dude with the monkey?
The monkey? Yes.
Yes. All right.
I missed that dude too.
All right. So this is all right. So okay. All right. So this is a real thing. All right. So imagine going to a comedy show. It's not going too well. Just like a standard open mic. Not a lot of people there. Not a lot of people laughing. And then at the end, a person comes out with a monkey and just talks about the monkey for about 30 minutes.
Yes.
Right. And you're worried because it's like the monkey, I don't think had any sort of like harness. It was like a loose monkey.
It's a loose monkey.
In a club that's also a restaurant.
Yes. So many violations.
Right. It was not a good thing. So this monkey's like running around, and then you go back to comedy. Anyway, that unlocked that memory for me. Moving on to the next story. A Decatur scout troop recently assembled and distributed 1,267 sandwiches for folks facing food insecurity.
For context, that's more than 60 loaves of bread.
And while that is incredibly impressive and very much needed to support our community, a Dekalb County Girl Scout was overheard saying, "Hold my juice," as she sold her 200 millionth box of Thin Mints.
And that's what's good with the news. We'll be right back with our top story of the week and interview with Ufot. Moving on to our top story again, we are live at Dad's Garage for a special live show.
Now, our first guest tonight really needs no introduction, all right? So if you paid any attention to the 2020 election here in Georgia, you know who she is.
Any election ever, anywhere, really.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, talk about it.
She really is everywhere. Her resume is lengthy, and her accomplishments are many.
Talk about
But
it.
above all else, she's found a way to bridge culture and civics to make people not only care, but get into action. And that's why she's the GO.O.A.T.
Bah. You know what I'm saying? The greatest organizer of all time.
That's right. Please give it up for Insane Ufot. Yeah! Nsé, it's great to have you here on the show. We really appreciate you being here. I guess maybe to start like a first question, for those that may not know you, can you talk about just some of the amazing work that you do,
Hey, y'all. Super happy to be here. Yeah, so I'm Nsé Ufot, and up until about a year and a half ago, I ran an organization called the New Georgia Project. Okay, so some of y'all have heard of it. Nice. I think that people probably best know the organization for registering about 700,000 young people and people of color to vote in all 159 of Georgia's counties, but we did and do so much more. So as Mark said earlier, it is actually, we want to change the culture of voting and the culture of participation in the state of Georgia. And so what does that look like? That looks like aggressively litigating things when we see stuff like voter suppression in the state of Georgia. I feel like people thought that voter suppression was Bubba on the back of a pickup truck with a shotgun trying to intimidate black voters. And to be clear, in the year of our Lord, 2024, that is still a concern, that is still a threat. But we jokingly say that it's less Jim Crow and more like James Crow Esquire, right? The level of sophistication that we see with voter suppression and what it looks like in Georgia and in these United States at this time. But yeah, I do dope stuff that is all designed to build community. The more people talk about like voting, it's not motivational in and of itself. It's a tool.
Yeah.
It's a tool that we use to build the world that we want to live in. And so I spend a lot of time trying to pull up out of people what does the world look like that they feel like they deserve for themselves, for their families, for their community, and then like how do we go about fixing it, or who's getting in the way of it, and who can we turn up on? Right? Right? Yeah.
That's wonderful. And hearing you talk about asking people what world they do want to see, things like that. I'm curious for yourself, like as you're doing this work, how do you find joy in it? Like where are the moments you find joy in your work?
I don't do this work because I want to suffer, right? That I am an organizer. I'm a voting rights lawyer, right? I do these things because, I do have a vision for myself and my family. And so I also don't think that it's something that I am to enjoy in the afterlife. I do strategy for a lot of organizations currently because, I'm a consultant now. But, in the doing, right, in the developing of the strategy, you practice, right? And so I want to practice what a joyful, abundant, peaceful existence looks like today, right? And build that muscle. I think that oftentimes, listen, I am a radical feminist community organizer, working class immigrant girl, public school graduate, APS graduate, right, who lives in the Deep South. And so, yeah, I'm used to losing, I'm used to getting my ass kicked, right? But I so clearly see the world and what it could be. I so clearly see what Atlanta can be. And so I feel like it's my responsibility to continue to sort of fight for that, organize for that, find my people. You might not be able to tell this, but I'm a kind of a loner, like kind of an introvert, but I believe in organization. And so thinking about what's my political home, right? Who are the people who share my values, who sort of see the world in a particular way, and how can I link up with them and what is it that we can do together? I think that we're so fed these like superhero and messiah narratives. As I mentioned before, I'm an Atlanta public school graduate. And so like we were raised on a steady diet of Martin Luther King quotes, right? And I think that there are people who believe that you have to be like, leading marches in hard bottoms in 6-button suits in order to like actually bring about the world that we want to live in. And you don't have to, right? That people do what they can with what they have when they can, right? And so when you can't, right, folks understand, but you're in community, you're in organization, we're lifting each other up, and that the work continues, right? That, I subscribe to the gospel choir theory of organizing. I'm a Southerner. And a PK.
Okay.
Right? And so the idea is, Wednesday night Bible study, it's going to be there, right? Every Tuesday, there's choir rehearsal so that if people have competing obligations, professional obligations, personal obligations, you know that there's going to be choir rehearsal on Tuesday. And each individual is holding their note, right? And that is why they make such beautiful music. That's why they sound amazing, right? Is that there is that consistency. There's a home for this thing that people are committed to building together.
I love that.
I have a question because you mentioned this idea of like heroes, and I feel like you kind of rejected it a little bit, but I do feel like many would consider you a hero. So so here's what I'll say to that. I feel like every hero has like an origin story, right? Like Superman came down here on a spaceship. Iron Man had a lot of money. So I'm curious, like, what would you consider like your origin? What got you to be the hero that we see before us today?
So I was born in Nigeria and raised in Southwest Atlanta. I might have mentioned before, I'm an Atlanta public school graduate. So at some point, when I realized that I wasn't going to be able to avail myself of college scholarships unless some of them I needed to be a U.S. citizen and not a green card holder. So my mom got a second job, actually a third job, and I was responsible for making sure that we passed the citizenship exam because she was not going to embarrass me. And we did. We became U.S. citizens when I was in high school. And when I think about all that the promise of America is, right? When I think about the rhetoric around freedom and liberty and what it means to pursue those things in the American context. And then I think about the reality of access to those things for people who look like me, who share my identities, right? That there's a gap between the rhetoric and the reality that I just can't sit with, right? I don't like hypocrisy. I don't like liars. It makes dating in Atlanta very difficult. I said it. Y'all know it. Stop playing.
In the microphone, she said.
Standing on business. And so that gap I could not abide by. And so, I was a very precocious kid. I'm the kid of, again, working class immigrants. And so I had to learn and pick up on things really quickly. So when adults are lying to me, when people are lying in my face, it does something to me. Right. And so it's not quite Hulk. I'm not quite Hulk with it.
I was going to ask which one, but hey.
Right? But there's like a little monster.
It's not Hulk.
It's not Hulk. And I do have a great
I wasn't even going to bring that
One kind of final question for you is just and you've touched on it a lot already, and it's been great having you here, but just in general, can you kind of talk about what civic engagement overall kind of means to you?
Having a hand in building the world that you want to live in, your community, right? The city, the state, the country. I don't think that civic engagement is just voting, right? I think that there are people who can't vote, right? If we're going to think about it, people who are under 18, and you cannot tell me that there are not 17-year-olds who have valuable contributions to make to the world that we want to live in, right? There are people, unfortunately, at the legacy of slavery in this country and in the Deep South who are formerly incarcerated, who have lost their right to vote and have yet to have it regained and restored. And they pay taxes, they work, they are part of reentry, they're coming back home into our communities. They absolutely have valuable contributions to make and need to be civically engaged. New Americans, people who have yet to gain citizenship, but they are our neighbors. They go to our schools, they are our colleagues, their children, et cetera, et cetera. They drive on the same roads. They drink the same water that we drink. And so I think that from attending city council meetings to coming to wonderful events like this, was good, Atlanta, right? That having an interest and having a hand in building your community feels really, really important.
I love it. Y'all, and say Ufot, y'all. Now, there's a recent story we covered on What's Good Atlanta, David, about another dimension of civics in addition to voting, right?
That's right, because civic engagement can look like so many things. Voting, volunteering, learning your history.
Also known as learning your old breaking news,
Old breaking news. Or just doing something to help out yourself, your neighbors. And so no one in 2024 is helping out their neighborhood more than our next guest, Alex Benigno, a.k.a. Magnet Man.
Yeah, let's give it up for Alex, y'all. Alex, Magnet Man, welcome to the stage. This is really exciting because David and I, we talked about your story on our podcast a little earlier. And right after we finished reading about it, we're like, we got to find this.
I need to meet this.
Who's this person?
Yes.
But for people that maybe have not yet heard about Magnet Man Atlanta and the incredible work that you do, could you please share about what it is that you've been up to?
Sure. So I use magnets to pick up nails and screws so our tires won't have to.
Come on.
Thank you.
Yeah. And can you tell us a little bit more about like exactly how that works? You know?
So I put them on the bottom of my bicycle trailer and just have rows of them there. And I just, wherever I ride on my bicycle, I pick up nails and screws everywhere I go.
That's fantastic.
My goodness.
And we were talking a little bit before the show in the green room. So you've been doing this for how long? Remember how long?
Last June.
Last June. All right. So since last June, about how many pounds of like nail and debris would you say you've picked up at this point?
So since December, I picked up 690 pounds. Yeah.
That could have been in our tires. My goodness. What is the origin story? Like, but you got a name. Yeah, and also follow question: did you give yourself that name?
I did. Yeah, I made it up.
Because most people that give themselves a name, it's like I don't work. That is the perfect name. So yeah, if you could, your origin story, like what?
Well,
what did
I had to drive during lockdowns for work, and I got 3 or 4 nails per tire on my car and on my motorcycle. I was like, where the hell are all these nails coming from? So, and I realized that without all these other cars riding on the road, that normally everyone else would be getting these nails in their tires. And so I realized something had to be done about this.
This is on the same level of Batman's origin story. You name it. This is the same level. I get it. Yeah.
You do this amazing work, right? And you took it upon yourself to start this. I'm kind of curious, like, what community means to you, because this is like something that you're doing for community, and I'm kind of like, where's that come from? Where's that sense of community come from? How do you define that?
I've always had this urge within me to help out any way I can, and to volunteer, to do things to help out, kind of behind the scenes. I'm not trying to get not always looking for attention. It's more about what random thing can I do to help some random person that will help further down the line, that some things that nobody would notice to do or think of to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and where did that kind of start for yourself? Like, where did that kind of come
I don't know. I think I've always been like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Ever since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I'm curious. This is just for my own personal curiosity. Because the name is perfect. Did you ever consider... It is. There's never been a more perfect name for exactly what you do. My question is, did you ever consider a mask or a uniform?
I have a really fun idea for a Halloween costume.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
No spoilers.
Yeah. No. I guess I still need to find somebody to help me make it. But I think you're awesome.
Hey, we got.
I know we got designers in that.
Yeah.
I'm curious, Alex, as you've driven around picking up things with your magnet bike, is there anything like unusual besides like nails that you found where you're like, how'd this get here?
I mean, there's been like some random art and things people made out of steel. Like somebody made a really small dream catcher out of some steel stuff that I thought was really neat, so I kept that. But mostly anything of value is completely flattened with all the cards. So yeah.
That's why we got fund the art. So that artwork shouldn't be on the street. Podcast is about to solve all the problems.
Yeah, and I'm curious, Alex, too. Like, beyond like helping your community through like this bike magnet, you're also like connected to the bike community as well, correct? Like, is that true?
Yeah. I do group rides all the time, and I love helping out wherever I can there.
Yeah, I'm curious, like with those group rides, like riding as a group, what's the best part of that? For you?
I mean, it's just being around so many wonderful people. The bike community in Atlanta is just fantastic. It's completely opened my eyes to a whole new level of socialization that I've never really not doing enough for myself. I've spent too much time alone, I think, and this has really, really helped me get out of the house more.
I love that, and we appreciate you being here. And I'm curious too, like you're the magnet man, saving tires. left and right. You know what I mean? You got your costume planned out for Halloween. You know, what else? Like, what else is next for the Magnet Man? You know?
I don't know. I just have to keep going. There's no. I want to try to get as many other people to do this as possible because I can't do it all alone. Yeah. So I built the cart. I figured out a really easy way to do it. Everything was from mostly Home Depot and hardware stores and things. I put all the plans and parts available. Show anybody else who wants to do it. I can show them how to put it together and make it freely available to anybody.
Well, y'all, that was great. And say, Alex, this was great. Now, while we have the two of y'all here, we think this is a great chance for a special edition of a recurring segment called Top 5.
Top 5.
I love that. Yes. Top 5 is where we name our top 5 things of a specific category, and we'd love for you both to be featured guests on today's remix of Top 5. Are y'all down?
Is that cool with you? Fantastic. All right, great.
Top 5.
Heck yeah. All right. Okay, so today we're going back to our Magnet Man episode from a few weeks ago where David and I brainstormed, like other superheroes we hoped would rise up to help save the day-to-day lives of Atlantans.
Yeah, like we had HOV Man and Cool Lunch Lady.
I liked Cool Lunch Lady.
Cool Lunch Lady, yeah.
Cool Lunch Lady was great.
Yeah.
Right. So we'd like for you two to share a few ideas of who else might join, this crew of Atlanta superheroes.
Yeah, like the Fantastic 404.
Yeah, the Avengers.
Avengers, yes.
Yes,
the Dungeon Family.
Ooh, the Dungeon Family is good. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, we should cover it. That's clearly brand new.
Yeah, brand new.
No one thought of that
Absolutely.
yet. In no particular order, we love to hear 5 superheroes that the city may not know it needs. All right, we're going to start with you and say.
Okay, so my first superhero is also a community organizer. Their name is Bentley Hudgens, and they're the Georgia director of the Human Rights Campaign. But they are also a phenomenal drag queen who helped us corral as many drag queens as possible and deployed them to polling locations all across the state to keep people encouraged and to keep people in line. Asian Americans are the fastest growing population in the southeastern United States. And so they also have a drag house called House of Persuasions, which is super cool and interesting. And so thinking about the blending of culture, and their drag name is She, because they're Japanese American. So Japanese American, 6 foot tall drag queen, community organizer who brings art and culture and can deploy drag queens to polling locations with one group chat. Yeah.
That is awesome. Alex, what you got for us?
I think we need like a rogue cop who only tickets people who hog the fast lane. We could fund the whole government on those tickets alone.
I'm not gonna lie. We talked about this earlier, and you said that. I was like, I love that, and I'm sure the audience will love that. On a personal note, I'm like, I hate it because I am that driver. I'm the one you all hate.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. This is your superhero. Yeah.
And also a pothole filler to
Pothole filler. Yeah, no, we definitely need that. Yeah, we definitely need that.
And so you got another one?
So this superhero is based off of a real life person again. So her name is Monica Ray Simpson. And she runs an organization called Sister Song, largest reproductive rights organizations in the country. And she's amazing. And in addition to being like all of the things reproductive justice, she's also a jazz singer, like a soul singer with an amazing voice. But she also is like taking us on a health and fitness journey. And she calls herself the captain of the fine ass aunties. Right. And I've been thinking lately about the role that aunts play in life. Right. And so my brothers like to have kids as a favorite pastime. Right. Making me family with some of these weirdos. But I recognize that they're gonna hear this. Ooh. I said what I said. But aunts play such an important role, a critical role. And I think that the ways in which family looks different in these days, I feel like there's, not that people are bucking against the tradition, but people can form families in so many different ways, right? And so we can lean in and like fill in the gaps that exist. And so thinking about how I want us all to be aunties in our lives, and we can be fine as aunties. Let's do it.
I would love nothing more.
So yes, captain of the fine ass aunties, who is helping people become better aunts, helping people fill in gaps, helping people be in community, and like they know what is needed in the family, even though they aren't necessarily parents themselves.
I love that. That's great. That's great. Yeah. Shout out to my Aunt Nancy in the front row. Aunt Nancy, yeah, what's up? And shout out to my mom, who's also a great aunt. Mom, if you're listening, you're a great aunt too.
Yeah, my mom's a good aunt too. Yeah, since we shout people out.
Well, I think we got space for maybe one more. I think we got four. Is there one more that
anybody have one on their heart?
On your heart?
Somebody who can show us how to grow food. I feel like they're the urban farmers who are doing cool and interesting things in Atlanta, because I see nothing but like potholes and chicken bones, but they see places to grow food that we can feed ourselves. And I really want that vision, and I really want those skills. So shout out to the urban farmers, and particularly Truly Living Well. No, I see tracks, chicken bones, and potholes.
None of those things are you can put in a compost. So I need some help.
Those are the real superheroes. And like not just the people who like got yeast and learned how to make sourdough bread during the pandemic. Like people who are really teaching us how to feed ourselves. I'm excited about them.
Okay.
That was top five.
Top five.
Thank you both so much for joining us for this very special episode of What's Good Atlanta. We thank you all for what you do for our city.
Absolutely. Absolutely, rather. It's absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
New word just dropped.
New word. Yeah. Ense, through your organizing tactics, and Alex, by way of the magnets on your bike, you've both made civics a bit more attractive for all of us. Attractive, like because of the magnets. It says in the script I have to hold until you all get that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Got it. Good.
Now, maybe you're feeling inspired after hearing from both Ense and Alex. Let's see what else is good with our special correspondent in these streets, Bill Worley.
What's up, y'all? It's Bill Worley, special correspondent in these streets. Tonight I'm at Dad's Garage for our live WABE taping, and I'm asking folks to share the best part of their week.
Well, yesterday I took a great nap. Really wonderful nap, 10 out of 10 stars for that nap. However, I napped right through the eclipse. So that is a real roller coaster of a time for me and the rest. My mom mailed me lots of glasses. I was really prepared to review it with friends. Ghosted everyone, turned everyone down. Truly just turned to a pillow. But I think that it was good to wake up rested, ready for today, I just like the sun took a nap, I did as well.
That's okay. Well, I'm so sorry that you missed the eclipse, but now you have plenty of shades for when it comes back in, 2044?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Ooh, the best news. I'm recently, delving into therapy, which has been a long time coming for me in my adult life. And I think some of the best news I've had doing that this week is just that, like, some of the things that I've been very worried are, like, huge problems and I'm, like, doing everything wrong. I actually have been getting a little bit of, like, reassurance from my new therapist. Like, no, these things are kind of normal and it's not a big deal, and I should give myself more of a break and more grace as I'm trying to, sort through my life and my stuff. It's very encouraging.
That is very encouraging. What a wonderful lesson, I think, for everybody, that we should all be nicer to ourselves and give ourselves a little bit more grace. I think that's a great thing for everyone in Atlanta to think, especially if we're on 75-85. What's been the best part of your week last week?
So the best part of my week was getting a 98 on my analog electronics homework.
Wow! A 98. Tell me, analog electronics homework, what is that?
So we're studying capacitive circuits and sending signals through that. And there was just like a homework assignment, and I did well on it. So it was pretty cool stuff.
Congratulations! Awesome. What's been the best news that you've heard this week?
You know, sometimes the news can be a little bit negative.
Pretty bad, right?
It's really
totally,
hard.
totally.
It's really hard, but I think coming here too, I also heard, like, of course, about the magnets were also something that happened all the time too. That was one of the good news I heard from the show. So the show, I would say, brought me good, more positive news in the same regards. There's people out here who's doing voting rights as well, and also Magnet Man too. And then I heard about the Decatur-ish girl too as well. That was probably the best news that I heard this week from this show.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad. What's Good Atlanta? We're spreading good news. That's what we're all about. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Before we sign off, Mark, I got to ask the question, what's some good that you're taking from tonight?
You know, I really love what Alex said about just like, yo, I'm just doing things to help people. I don't need credit or attention for it. I'm really going to hold on to that. Yeah, thank you, Alex.
Yes.
Yeah, what about yourself?
For me, man, I love finding out that to be a hero, like, you don't have to have like a tragic origin story. You can just kind of want to do some good stuff.
Yeah.
I was really afraid for my people around me. I was like, I want to help, but I don't want anybody to go down. So, yeah.
Love that. Okay, also, don't forget, you can hit the What's Good Atlanta tip line at podcast at wabe.org. Let us know what's good in Atlanta, be a breaking news, or maybe just a bright spot from your drive down Edgewood.
What's Good Atlanta is produced by us in collaboration with Cool Productions and WABE. Our executive producer is Scotty Crow, with additional production by Matt Owen. Special thanks to Kevin Rinker for production of this live episode.
And a shout out to the Center for Artistic Activism as well as Dad's Garage for hosting us. Find more at wabe.org/What's Good Atlanta. Peace.
Cheer, cheer.
WABE.